I had to figure out how to get out of bed and stay out of bed for the day. And in various ways, I sometimes still feel like I am in survival mode. My issue with our society is that we make self-care seem like it is a one-size-fits-all, and it's really not. Okay, so I brought you a little closer because now I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story when I was going through a very low low. In 2024, I hit a low I haven't seen since probably adolescence. And I was truly struggling with my mental health. I was at a point where I was freezing. I was in survival mode. I couldn't even figure out what goals I had for myself. I was struggling to even get out of the bed. My basic needs were met. If you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, my physiological needs were met in general. However, my body was not healthy. My mental health was not healthy. And honestly, I was even at a job that was not satisfying me. I was ready to switch gears and I just didn't know how to. Truth be told, I just was operating out of survival mode in so many ways. I didn't enjoy my job at the time. I was trying to stick it out just because it was good money. Considering all the things going on, I didn't have the energy or the capacity to go ahead and look for a new job. So I just stayed. I was complacent. I was complacent in various aspects of my life. I was dealing with some conflict in my personal life that was just so overwhelming. It was so challenging. And in various ways, I sometimes still feel like I am in survival mode because not every tier is intact. Like, I'm a full-time student. I couldn't get with the shift of my reality. And that in itself, you know how they say your mental health is struggling when you are out of touch from reality? I couldn't accept the fact that new information had come forth. I couldn't accept that dynamics were shifting in real time. I couldn't get to a point of even having a conversation about it because I couldn't wrap my brain around the fact that this new reality was reality. I just could not. And that in itself came with a low of a low. And in that time, I just want to say shout out to my friends for showing up for me. Shout out to my partner for showing up for me. Shout out to even my family who showed up for me when it was challenging for them to show up for me because of just all the dynamics involved. I really had to dig deep. This is why I talk so much about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, because I know in that time I had to start with my physiological needs. I had to figure out how to brush my teeth and take a shower every day. I just had to figure that out. I had to figure out how to get out of bed and stay out of bed for the day. These are your physiological needs. Then you have to figure out your safety and security. So I had a home, gratefully so. I was safe and secure in having a roof over my head, having a car, having my bills paid. That safety and security was there. The love and belonging was a broken tier for me. And so I had to really dig into the spaces that poured into me. I had to ask for support that I was not used to asking for. That in itself helped me exit my survival mode that I was in. Eventually, I got back into my self-esteem. I got back into understanding I'm still here. There's something meant for me. There's something meant for me. I started to look for my purpose again. I got through the love and belonging tier. So then I got into my self-esteem because I'm like, okay, God has something else for me. I'm not out of here. So let's figure it out. And with that came a new set of goals. Once I was able to get through this love and belonging and this self-esteem, I started to get into self-actualization. I started meditating again. I started visualizing a life for me. I started making my vision board again, setting goals, reading books that challenged me to think bigger. And with that, I applied to grad school. I only applied to one grad school because I knew the one I wanted to go to. I've been looking at it for years. I went to an information session that just solidified it for me. I'm in that grad program right now. I am a living testimony of exiting survival mode. And in various ways, I sometimes still feel like I am in survival mode because not every tier is intact. Like, I'm a full-time student coming from being a full-time employee, therefore having a stable check. that has changed. And again, basic needs are met, but there are still certain goals that I have for myself. Hence why I'm here sharing this content, because I want to add value to the world. That is a part of my self-actualization. So switching gears here, people try to romanticize self-care, but for a lot of us, it's about survival. So if you are doing self-care on a superficial level, it's not actually meeting a need that you have. For example, if you really just need a nap, a face mask is not going to do it. I'm not me going to get a facial when really all I need is to let myself go to sleep right now, or to get on a sleep routine, or to literally shower. Maybe you dealing with some things. You ain't showering in like 2 days. If all you really need is a good refreshing shower and you over here trying to do makeup and buy a new skincare routine, maybe you just need a shower. You just need to use that Dove bar soap in there and get to it. On a basic level, you have to figure out what self-care means for you. My issue with our society is that we make self-care seem like it is a one size fits all, and it's really not. It is based on where you are in your needs, and it's also based on what actually fills your cup. These things might not fill your cup. Some of the women I'm closest to, they do not resonate with a face mask. They're like, for what? I wash my face every day, moisturize. I think that's enough. That just would not fill a cup for them. But what does is maybe a night to themselves. What does is maybe a babysitter for a day. And we're going to actually dive deeper with some journal prompts. I want you to use these journal prompts as a way to figure out what self-care actually means for you, not what society told you it meant. Thank you so much for watching part 2, and I look forward to sharing more of my authentic journey with you all, and also the habits that I'm implementing for 2026. So make sure you stay tuned for part 3. We're going to talk about the habits we're implementing, as well as some journal prompts to get you started, because we got to keep the promises we made to ourselves. If we don't do it, who will? Just saying. I'll see you in the next video. I hope you are living creatively well, and make sure you leave me an orange heart in the comments if you made it this far. Peace.